Have you ever been so pregnant with a dream you're about to bust? Oh, we know. Trust us. You don't need a physician if you're in transition because we're on a mission to improve your condition. Welcome to What to Expect When You're Expecting the Business Edition. Yeah, baby, we got you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Kingdom Builders Academy podcast. We have a really exciting training today, and if you are not on YouTube, you might want to get yourself over to YouTube and search the Kingdom Builders Academy podcast and look up today's episode because we have got an amazing PowerPoint with visual displays that you will want to see. So Coach Tam, we can see your screen and we're excited for what you've got for us today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, kings and priests. Today we are talking about the brand building secrets of superstars. And yes, there are secrets, and today we are giving them away. So when I first did this teaching, we called it the 15 things to expect when building your brand, but it is 2023. And so today we're going to be giving you 23 things to expect when building your brand. Now, I remember when I was pregnant with Zachary, my firstborn son, and my handsome, devoted, talented co-host, and I got the classic book, What to Expect When You're Expecting, because I had a vision of what it was going to be like to be pregnant, and in my vision, I sat in the chair, the rocking chair, and I would sing to the baby. As it turned out, my baby did not like my singing. He kicked when I sang. I thought that was like cheering. I thought that was like, keep going. But then I discovered after he was born when I would sing, because they said if you sang to them, then they would recognize your voice when they're born. But I discovered that Zachary did not like my singing because when I would start to sing after he was born, he would start crying. So while I thought that kicking was cheering, it was actually jeering. So I thought it was going to be this really pleasant experience to be pregnant. But this was my reality. It was just everything made me sick. I was nauseated. Sounds made me sick. Light made me sick. Smells made me sick. I was an emotional basket case. It was really a miserable experience. I did not expect that. But also, what I didn't expect was how wonderful it would be to have children. And for those of you who are watching by YouTube today or joining us live, all of our members in Inner Circle, you see pictures of my two sons and I, Zach and Andrew, and we just had so much fun. Their childhood experience was so much fun, and I didn't expect that. And so number one thing to expect when building your business, ministry, and brand is it will be a lot more fun than you think it is. And this, my friends, is a picture of that I picked up off the internet because I didn't actually have this view, but this was the first house that I ever built. Actually, it kind of is the last house I ever built to this date. But I built a house in Tampa, Florida. This is it. And when I was building this house, everybody told me their horror stories of building houses. They said, it's going to be over budget. The contractors are going to lie to you. It's going to be later than they tell you that it'll be finished. And I thought, thank you for your horror stories, but I really want to enjoy this experience. So I just made up my mind on the front end that I was going to enjoy the experience of building a house. And you know what? It was over budget. The contractors lied. It was late, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So I think first things first, especially for those of you who are new, those of you who are newly minted members of our Inner Circle. Congratulations, by the way. We have many newly minted members of Inner Circle with us today. And just make up your mind on the front end that it is going to be fun and really enjoy it because it will be fun. Number two, yes, it may take longer than you want it to. Anytime that I've produced a project, built something new, a new program or written a book, it's always taken me longer than I wanted it to. I want it to go quicker. But that's number two. It may take longer than you want it to. But number three, you may be shocked at how quickly you succeed, especially if you follow a pattern. Today I was driving in the snow. There was a snowstorm today in Colorado, and I was driving in the snow. And I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of driving in the snow. But I can tell you one thing that I learned is that when you follow the tracks of somebody who has gone before you, it's a whole lot easier. You get traction a whole lot quicker. So for those of you who are following the pattern that we teach, you may be shocked at how quickly you succeed. Like Tommy G, who got $35,000 and 30 clients in 30 days with his very first coaching program. He had never even done a coaching program before, and yet he succeeded very quickly. Or like Pam Riley, she got 21 clients, made $8,700 in just 3 weeks. Or our client, Lisa Vanderkwak, who made $15,000 and got 18 clients in 2 weeks. So these are very quick success stories, but it's because they were following a pattern. It's like they were following in the tracks that we drove ahead of them, and they could follow behind. So you can be confident that when you're following a proven pattern, you're going to get success much quicker. Number 4, the fourth thing that you should expect when building your business, ministry, or brand is that you may need to pivot, and that's no problem. Now, what I mean by pivot is you may initially present an offer that doesn't resonate with your market. Maybe you need to change your messaging. Maybe you need to change who it is that you're trying to reach or what that offer is that you're presenting to them. That's not a problem. What's a problem is continually doing the wrong thing the wrong way in the wrong order, because you're going to end up with not so good results, right? So what you see here in this picture, for those of you who are just listening and not watching, I've got a picture on the screen right now of me in front of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And this project took hundreds of years to build. So the people who laid the foundation never actually got to see the tower completed. But what's interesting about this, as I read about the history of it, is that somewhere around year 30, year 40 of building the tower, they knew that it was going to be crooked. But they'd already invested 30, 40 years in building it, and they decided that it probably wouldn't be so bad, that it would be structurally okay, it wouldn't fall on people, it would still stand, but let's just go ahead and keep building. And, I'm just going to say it's really better to scrap the old idea that's not working and do something new than to build a crooked tower. So if you need to pivot, that's not a problem, but just expect that. Number 5, you will doubt yourself along the way. Just expect that. You're going to doubt yourself. Doesn't matter how much experience, how many years you've been doing this, how many standing ovations you've had. You're going to doubt yourself along the way, and that's normal. That's par for the course. You shouldn't put stock in those moments of doubt. Really, at that point, you need to start thinking about the call of God that's on your life. And just understand that there is a spiritual battle and that you are going to be opposed when you are doing the things that God called you to do. Now, there's a scripture that I love, 2 Corinthians 10:5, that says, take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. And I've got a picture on the screen right now of a spider under a glass. I don't know if you've ever done that. You've seen a bug in your house. This is ladies only. I guess the men don't really do this so much, but I've done that. I've taken a glass and then trapped the little bug under it. And then I'm faced with another dilemma. Now, what do I do? Do I just leave the glass on the floor in the middle of the room? What do I do? But this is a visual of how to take your thoughts captive and make them obedient to Christ. Like, you have to think about what you're thinking about. Sometimes our thoughts run away with us and we're not really thinking about what we're thinking about, but we need to make that a pattern, to think about what we're thinking about, because we can change our minds. We can change our thoughts. So when you doubt yourself, take that thought captive and make it obedient to Christ and just say, no, I'm choosing not to think that way. I'm choosing to believe that God has given me everything that I need pertaining to life and godliness, that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, that God constantly leads me in triumphant procession in Christ. And there's another scripture where Jesus talked about forgiveness, and one of the disciples asked him, I think it was Peter, who said, how many times should we forgive our brother if he sins against us? I guess in the same way. They do the same thing over and over again. Like 7 times a day, is that enough? And Jesus said, no, 70 times 7. And when you doubt yourself, I think you need to apply that forgiveness principle of 70 times 7. Like, you push that off of you as many times as it takes. You just push it off of you. Don't sit in self-doubt. That is defeating, and that'll paralyze you. All right, number 6, you will be tempted to quit. You will be tempted to quit. Number 7, you will be so glad you kept going. So everybody who has succeeded at any significant level, myself included, I was tempted to quit 70 times 7. I doubted myself 70 times 7, but I was so glad that I kept going. We have a private Facebook group for our inner circle students, and one of the most common things that I see in the Facebook group that people post directed to me is they say, Coach Tam, thank you for being obedient to your calling. Thank you for not quitting. Thank you for the sacrifices that it took so that you could build Kingdom Builders Academy. And when you persist in your calling, you're going to have that experience too, that your clients are going to share with you their successes, and they're going to express their appreciation to you for what you've done for them. And that's the most gratifying thing. You're going to be so glad that you kept going, because the things that we're teaching you here about building your brand and your business and your ministry are life-changing, not only for the people that you're reaching, but also for you. It will give you the quality of life, the finances, the freedom over your schedule that you probably never had before. It is really life-changing, and you will be so glad that you kept going. Number 8, what to expect when building your brand is that you will make the best friends and ministry connections. This is really directed to our students in Kingdom Builders Academy. Here you see a picture of 6 of our beautiful inner circle members who got together and had a little live event. But you are going to make such great friends and have such amazing camaraderie in this group. Here is a picture of Kathy and Dana. Partnerships, ministry opportunities, speaking engagements, and media prospects will open up to you. So many of our students are pastors, they are promoters, they are live event producers, and opportunities that you never expected are going to come your way because you are in collaboration with like-minded leaders who have a heart for ministry. So you can expect that in this environment. Number 9, surprises that you never expected will come to you. This is Bree. She said, I made $10,000 and gained 15 new clients when I launched my very first coaching program. My confidence has increased tremendously. I'm able to present myself as an expert and actually have the confidence to charge for my services. This community has brought me so much joy. Learning has brought so much excitement. Having a proven system that works has brought me peace and prosperity. I also just published an Amazon bestseller, and that wasn't even on my radar before Inner Circle. The results have been above and beyond anything I could ask or imagine. So just like Bree, writing an Amazon bestseller was never even on her radar. Surprises you never expected are going to come to you. Number 10, your thinking will be transformed by truth. This is Danny Zanova, and she says, I was set free from lack, poverty thinking, and a repetitive cycle of failure. She says, I grew up in communist Bulgaria. It is hard for people who are born and raised in a country of freedom and liberty to understand this, but my main breakthrough was freedom from false beliefs about finances. Thanks to what Tamara teaches, I was set free from poverty thinking, something that was deeply rooted because of my communist background. And Danny, I want to tell you that even people who are not born and raised in a communist country, people who are from a country of freedom and liberty, still have poverty thinking. I know that might be hard for you to believe, but that is true. Danny says, I was coming out of huge financial loss and did not have the money for the Inner Circle tuition, but I knew I needed this program and was ready to do everything possible in order to learn, grow, and get in the company of like-minded people who love the Lord. She says, I worked extra hours, started to drive Uber, and did everything I could in order to join Inner Circle. Thank God I made this step of faith. What happened? She says, well, a pastor from Pakistan reached out to me on Facebook, and he shared with me how discouraged the leaders and pastors there were. I offered to train him on Zoom, and 35 Pakistani Christian leaders joined us. Some of them are bishops, college professors and Bible colleges, pastors who are overseeing churches in different areas of Pakistan. They reach thousands of students and other leaders. I trained them for 18 weeks. Then God opened a door in Kenya and then in Rwanda, and I began to train their leaders too. Next, as a result of putting into practice what I learned in Inner Circle, I was promoted to Dean of Ascend International University. Recently, I made a post on Facebook and got over 1,600 messages for pastors in 35 different countries who want to be trained and equipped. I never thought that a girl from Bulgaria would teach Pakistani and African pastors. 99% are men, and that they would listen, receive, show respect, and send me messages about how thankful they are for the training that helps and empowers them. I never imagined I would have this kind of kingdom influence and make the impact I am having around the world. Less than a year ago, I was working a minimum wage job and driving Uber. And that's what I'm saying. Surprises you never expected are going to come to you, and you're going to have a transformation mentally when you are in an environment of believers who believe for higher things, for going to new levels, for breakthrough. You're going to have breakthrough. Danny goes on with an exhortation, and she says, now I ask you, what opportunities await you on the other side of learning these things of Inner Circle? The only way to find out is to take a step of faith and trust the Lord. Don't allow fear, finances, insecurity, or lack of confidence or intimidation to be a hindrance to your blessings. Jump in the river. Even if you don't know how to swim, you're going to learn, and you'll learn fast. Number 11, what to expect when building your brand, business, and ministry. Expect to be confused at first, but not for long, okay? This is a picture of Don Clowers. He was actually our Kingdom Builder of the Year for 2019, and he was 77 years old when he won that award. And I remember when he came into this Inner Circle Kingdom Builders Academy environment, he said, Tamara, he said, I want to tell you something. He says, I sense by the Spirit, I know by the Spirit of God that what you're teaching is truth. He says, but I'm going to be honest with you. 75% of what you're saying, I have no idea what you're saying. I don't understand what you're talking about. And I laughed and I said, Don, that's all right. I said, just hang around with us. Just stick with us, okay? Because in a few weeks, the script is going to flip and you're going to understand 75% of what I'm talking about. There may still be 25% that you don't understand. Don said, when I started in Tamara's Inner Circle, I was the pastor of a small dying church in Dallas, Texas. My senior congregation was shrinking as my members transitioned to heaven. I was doing a weekly webinar that wouldn't grow beyond 20 people. In just 2 weeks, Tamara taught me how to make a few changes that increased my webinar audience to over 20,000 per week. He went from 20 people to 20,000 people watching his webinars in just 2 weeks. He says, within a year, my webinar grew to more than 300,000 viewers every week, and I now pastor the largest online church in the world for believers 50 plus years old. He was ready to give up ministry. He thought, I'm 77 years old. I should be ratcheting down, not ratcheting up. But now he's the pastor of the largest online church in the world for people 50 years old and older. Number 12, what to expect when you are building your brand. Seeing your book become a bestseller will be the best feeling that you've ever had in your whole life. And those of you who are in Inner Circle and our private Facebook group, you'll see that very often when people say, my book just hit #1, I will comment and say, what does that feel like? Because that feeling is just about indescribable. Seeing your book become a bestseller will be the best feeling you've ever had in your whole life. Number 13, some skills you will learn easily and love. Here you see a not so attractive picture of me doing video. When I first started doing video, though, I really loved it. And I didn't realize that video is my medium. Like, I'm cute on video. And I didn't even know that. And it just came naturally to me. It felt really good. But when I learned how to edit video, that challenged me. So some skills you will learn easily and love. Other skills will challenge you. I remember the first time I opened up a video editing software, and it looked like what you're seeing on the screen now, with all kinds of graphs and buttons and things I didn't understand. And I remember sitting in front of that and just crying. I just cried. It was overwhelming for me, but I learned how to do it. It only took me a short time. It took me a few hours to really press through and to learn. And then as I continued to acquire skill, as I continued to practice, it got better and better. I personally edited by myself with no prior editing knowledge or skill my Hallmark program, which is called Boot Camp. It's a 5-module video program. And if you watch it closely, you will see that it keeps getting better and better from a production point of view. So in the very first few modules, you'll see that there's a transition, for instance, where red curtains open and close, but there's no sound. You just see it open and close. It took me to about module 3 to learn how to put that sound effect on the videos. And so then by about module 3, when the curtains open and close, you hear this swish, swish. And then by module 5, dinosaurs are flying onto the screen. There's explosions, all this stuff, because I was learning it. So that's okay if some skills come easily to you and other skills challenge you. Just press through, because this is what you need to see the fruit of what you're doing. Now, here's a scripture for you, and I'd like you to memorize it. It's Hebrews 10:36. It says, patient endurance is what you need now, so that you will continue to do God's will. Then you will receive all that he has promised. That's so important. We're just going to do it all over again. So here we go. Hebrews 10:36. Patient endurance is what you need. When do you need it? Now. You need it now, so that you will continue to do God's will. Then you will receive all that he has promised. You don't go out into your backyard and plant an apple seed and the next day come out and pick apples. It just doesn't work that way. There is seed time and there is harvest. There is seed time and harvest, okay? So be patient. Patient endurance is what you need now. Number 14, you're going to be so proud of yourself when you press through something that you found difficult at first. This is our very own coach, Caroline Bergeron. And she says, I just crushed my first webinar with 72% of registrants not only showing up, but staying until the end. I'm so thankful for this community, for supporting and challenging me. This is a big milestone, and I'm praying for a $40,000 launch. 3 more webinars to go. Guess what? She did her $40,000 launch. She posted this in January of 2020, and this is, I think, my favorite picture that has ever been posted in our Facebook group, because you can just see the expression of pride on her face. Like, she's so happy and so joyous that she pressed through. Now, I'm going to show you another testimony from Caroline a few years later. I think she posted this like 2 years later. Number 15 is once you learn something that you found challenging, it'll seem like you've known how to do it all your life. There's an expression. It's like riding a bike. What does that mean? It's like riding a bike. It means that you can learn how to ride a bike and get off that bicycle, not get on a bicycle for 5 years, get on it and be like you've been riding it every day for the past 5 years. It's like riding a bike. Once you learn how to do something that we're teaching you these new skill sets, for instance, I used the example earlier of videos or webinars, right? Once you learn it, it may have been challenging at first. I don't know anybody who learned how to ride a bike without falling. That is an integral part of the process. So there are going to be times where you scrape your knee. There are going to be times where you try and fail, but you're going to get it. And once you get it, it will seem like you've known how to do it all your life. So this is the next testimony from Caroline. She says, the new year has started off. Now she posted this a couple of years after doing that first webinar challenge. She says, the new year has started off with major highs and lows. My husband and daughter miraculously walked away without a scratch from an auto accident that totaled our car. My mom had a triple bypass surgery with complications and needed a second surgery. And in the midst of all of this, I had the great honor of helping hundreds of women around the world. I did 2 online challenges and spoke 15 times in 15 days. I started the year with a $30,000 profit. She posted this in early January. She started the year with a $30,000 profit. She said, how was I able to do this? How was I able to do it all amid such challenging circumstances? I followed the inner circle system. That's like what I was talking about of driving on a snowy road. It's so much easier if you've got tracks to follow somebody else who went ahead of you. She says, I followed the inner circle system. I've been a pastor, a teacher, and a coach for 20 years now, but I had no idea how to sell. Thank you, Tamara Lowe, Zach Lowe, and all the KBA coaches who helped me. I'm deeply grateful for all I've learned in Inner Circle. Number 16, expect some stops and starts along the way because real life happens. Real life happens. So don't expect it to just be a smooth, uninterrupted ride. It's not going to be like that. There are going to be some stops and starts along the way because real life happens. There are going to be fender benders. There are going to be times where you and the kids and the husband are sick or the wife is sick. There's going to be complications in life. Your water heater breaks, your pipe bursts, your car breaks down. Those things happen, but there are also wonderful things that are happening in life, and we don't want you to miss those. There are going to be celebrations and happy times with family. There are going to be stops and starts along the way. Real life happens, so expect that. That's number 16. Number 17, for those of you who are in our Inner Circle program, this is a self-paced program. You go at your own speed and you are never behind. Okay, I've heard this said a lot of times. I missed Coach Zach's trainings for the past few weeks and now I'm so far behind. If you ever hear somebody say that, I'm going to tell you what to respond. No, you're not. Everything is recorded. All the trainings are in the portal. Don't pressure yourself. Go at the speed that works best for you. Go at the pace of peace, okay? This is a self-paced program. Go at your own speed. You're never, ever behind. Number 18, what to expect when building your business, ministry, and brand. You will be misunderstood by family and friends. Yes, you will. Family and friends will misunderstand you. They will be skeptical of what you're doing with all the best intentions. They're going to say, you know, I'm concerned about this thing that you're doing, and I don't know if you should be doing this. You will be misunderstood by friends and family. Expect that. Just like Jesus was. Jesus was misunderstood by friends and family. This morning I was listening to the audio Bible that I do on the YouVersion Bible. There's a plan that it's called The Bible in 1 Year with Nikki Gumbel. And the passage for today was where Jesus was speaking, and there were so many people that were coming to him, and he was in this house, and people were crowded around the house. And at that moment, where really, in a sense, Jesus was at the peak of his ministry, like everybody's following him. People are lowering a paralytic through the roof. He's healing people. In the midst of great success in his ministry, his family members say, he's lost his mind. We better go over there and take charge of him. We need to take him out of the house, right? So you will be misunderstood by family and friends, just like Jesus was. Expect it. That's par for the course. You need to know that that's coming. And number 19, you need to know that you will have haters who are complete strangers. They don't know you. They've never listened to a word of your teaching. You post something on Facebook and they write some nasty reply. They don't know you. They don't know your heart. They don't know your calling, but they feel that it's okay for them to criticize you, judge you, be self-righteous. One day I was online and I came upon somebody who clearly had more time than sense, like too much time on their hands. And they had posted a picture of me, my face, as a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I just thought, wow, points for creativity. But dear God, you don't know anything about me. You don't know my heart. You don't know my call. You've never even listened to 5 minutes of my training. So you will have haters who are complete strangers. Expect that. But don't let them get in your head. Don't let them get in your head when you can hit delete instead, right? So it's like this picture I have on the screen here with this girl like, oh, I could have had a V8, right? Like, don't let them get in your head. you can hit delete instead. So sometimes we get very obsessed. People can say 5,000 wonderful things about us, but one person who, for all we know, has serious mental health challenges says something negative and we obsess over it. Don't let them get in your head when you can hit delete instead, because number 20, you are going to have raving fans. And can I tell you that for every person who has said something negative or critical about me or every hater that I've ever had, I can tell you that there are 10,000 more raving fans that I have. So let that be your focus, is that you are helping people, you're helping people en masse. Let that be your focus. You're going to have raving fans. Number 21, we are moving right in, sliding right into the number 23, our last point. But number 21 is when you have customers, you will also have customer service issues to resolve. Now, I'm just telling you this because you probably didn't expect it. You didn't see it coming. But I remember when we first started Kingdom Builders Academy, I had a partner and we spent months putting together our launch plans. We spent months building a portal, building the advertising. We wrote a book together to give away as a lead magnet to build our list. And when we launched, it was so successful that both of us woke up to thousands of emails. Finally, people had a place that they could go where they could ask their questions, and they had confident mentors who would mentor them. And boy, did they have questions. And they were blowing up our phones and blowing up our emails. And I said to my partner, what do we do? And he said, we're going to shut it down. We've got to shut it down. We can't handle this. And we did. And it was heartbreaking. We had to shut everything down because we couldn't handle, because we didn't anticipate the customer service issues that we would have. So then we built automated systems, which you guys in Inner Circle were teaching you these things. You don't have to be concerned about it. We build automated systems to handle the customer service issues that we experienced. But you just need to know, expect that. When you have customers, you also have customer service issues to resolve. Number 22, learning and doing this stuff is a lot of work at first. It is. Expect that. Expect that. Don't let that catch you by surprise. Learning and doing this stuff is a lot of work at first. But in a year or two, you can outsource most of it. Most of it you're going to outsource. I only want you to learn it so that you know how to do it, so that nobody can pull the wool over your eyes, so that nobody is controlling your business because they have more knowledge than you have. Nobody is holding you hostage. Nobody can mesmerize you with their jargon and say, oh, this video takes 15 hours to varicate and the upload speeds and ratios and aspect ratios. No. I remember one time I had a guy I hired to come in and do video with me. And I said, get everything ready, and then I'll come and I'll do my thing, and you can videotape it. And he said, okay, I'm ready. So I stepped on the set, and the lighting was wrong. There was a big shadow across my face, and I said, the lighting's wrong. And he said, no, it isn't. He said, I'm a professional. I do this for a living. The lighting is absolutely correct. I said, dude, look at the monitor. The lighting is not right. And I literally stepped off set, adjusted the lights, turned them up, turned them down, moved them forward, moved them back, stepped back on set. The shadow was gone. Okay. And he tried to tell me at first, he goes, it's not, the lighting's not wrong. He said, it's just your face. As you age, the wrinkles show. And I just started laughing. I said, that's funny. What else have you got? Because that's not the right answer. And I knew it wasn't the right answer because I learned how to do this stuff. I learned how to do it. Now, I can outsource it, right? And in a year or two, you can outsource it. But I want you to learn it so that you know it just as well as anybody that you outsource it to. And nobody's holding you hostage, and nobody's holding you for ransom, and nobody's overcharging you because you know how to do it too. If I need to kick out a video, if I need to do a video for a Facebook ad, I can do it. I know how to do it. In fact, I just did it last week. Zach sent me a half a dozen videos because algorithms had changed, and the 2-minute videos that we had filmed were not working for the new algorithm. So we had to redo the videos in 30 seconds. I set up my light, I set up my microphone, I did the background, I did the teleprompter, I filmed the videos, I did it in probably took me about 40 minutes, right? I didn't have to call in a videographer because I knew how to do it. So I want you to have that power too. Number 23, last point, is stay the course. Stay the course. You will make great money doing this stuff, and you will have the quality of life that you always wanted, so long as you stay the course. Stay the course. Now, you might be asking yourself, how long is the course? And that's a good question. The answer is the course is forever. This is your calling. The course ends when you see Jesus face to face. The course ends at the end of your life. The course is forever. Stay the course, because within a few years, you will be working less than you ever have while making a bigger contribution and earning more money and having more fun, more fulfillment, and more free time than you ever had in your whole life, so long as you stay the course. I'm going to end with this exhortation from Hebrews 10:36. By now, you might have it memorized. Patient endurance is what you need now, so that you will continue to do God's will. Then you will receive all that He has promised. And therein, beloved, ends our training for today. Thanks for joining us.
What an awesome episode, Coach Tam. Thanks for this special training. We will see you guys next week on the Kingdom Builders Academy podcast.